folks, welcome back to another list, and this one I'm doing all by my lonesome. It is the 12 miniatures games of Christmas. We'll talk a little bit more about what miniatures games means to me, specifically for this list, in just a little bit. But before we get to that, you may be wondering, where can I find some of these games that we're talking about here? You can find them at coolstuffinc.com or anywhere online, and not necessarily in any one particular place, but you can find these games. Now, if you're interested in getting a gift card for coolstuffinc.com, it's pretty cool because our sponsors are running a contest for that. All you have to do is join the app. The app is called Gstone. Gstone stands for gathering, like a mythical rune stone that gathers heroes together to go on an adventure. It's basically a one-stop shop tool that you can use for a number of different things. And one of the things that you can do is add a specific game venue or a public venue to the tool so that other people can find it. So if you have a favorite game cafe or a game store that you frequent in your area, you can actually add them to the app so that other people using the app can go and find the place that you like to frequent and play games at. So that's a really cool thing to do. In order to join the contest to get that $50 Cool Stuff card, you simply have to create an account on Gstone. So make sure you do that, but let's get to my list. Now, as I said earlier, we're talking about the 12 miniatures games of Christmas. Now, I'm not talking about tabletop miniature games, which is probably where most of your minds went to. I'm talking specifically about games that employ miniatures in the game. The miniatures is one of the components. These are largely board games that use miniatures. They're not specifically miniatures games. So take that caveat for what it's worth, and let's go ahead and get to my list. My number 12, the 12th one that I'm talking about, these are in no particular order. They're all good games, and they would all, in my opinion, be worth your money. The first one I'm going to talk about, though, is a brand new game that's come out called the Funko Verse strategy game. Now, you've probably seen the Funko Pop Minis that you see in stores all over the place, and it seems like every internet intellectual property that's out there has them. Well, Funko Verse strategy game employs Funko Pop Mini-like miniatures in this game, and it's basically an area control. There's a couple of different modes that you can play, but you're using these people from these intellectual properties that you've come to love, and you're battling against other intellectual properties. You can take Batman up against Joker, or you can take Batman up against what is his name, Severus Snape, or whatever his name is called. You can take Harry Potter up against Catwoman. There's a number of different things. The Golden Girls are in this game, for crying out loud, and they are powerful. So check that out. That's my number 12 Funko Verse strategy game. Number 11 is called GKAR Heavy Hitters. GKAR stands for Giant Killer Robots. And this is from Weta Workshop, and it is a really neat miniatures game. Has a very cool popping board that you're trying to score points in a number of different ways, knocking other opponents' mechs out, tagging buildings. There's a number of different things you can do here, and it's a really fun game. Has a lot of tongue-in-cheek kind of I guess arena battle system that's there. The quotes on the cards are fun to read. This is just a really fun game. You need to go check it out. That's the GKAR Heavy Hitters. Number 10 is Run, Fight, or Die Reloaded. This is from Gray Fox Games, and it's a zombie game where each of you are trying to take care of your own personal horde of zombies that are coming at you and trying to get you. And you do that by rolling dice, and a little bit of a Yahtzee-style mechanism there where you can keep certain dice and roll other ones, and you're simply trying to survive until the group meets the edge of town. And if you do that, well, then you've won. Whoever has the most points is the specific winner of the game, but if anybody dies during that journey, the game's over and you count points. So it's really fun. It's really light too, but it's very thematic as well. That's Run, Fight, or Die Reloaded. My number 9 is Inish. Now this is from Madigo Games, and it is set in Ireland, where you're going to be the head of a clan and you're trying to score as many scoring conditions as you can the quickest. It's possible that you can win by just scoring one winning condition, but if somebody else also qualifies for that win condition at the same time, you have to continue and play another round until somebody can have a majority number of winning conditions in their personal cache. So it's a really fun game. The board looks amazing. The way the pieces puzzle together is really neat, and it just really pops on the board. I really like this game a lot. Inish. 878 Vikings, The Invasion of England is from Academy Games, and this is a really neat game that can play for either 2 or 4 players, where one person or 2 people take the role of the invading Nordic Viking armies, and then 1 or 2 people will take on the defense of England with the English forces that are there. It's a very strategic game. It is a very historically themed game, and it is really, really cool. I enjoy it a lot. It is a card-driven battle system, so there's that to enjoy as well. That's 878 Vikings, The Invasions of England. Number 7 is Blitz Bowl. Now, you may have heard of Blood Bowl from Games Workshop way back in the day, and they did actually revamp that system and re-release it here recently. Blitz Bowl, however, is a condensed version of Blood Bowl. It's a smaller board, you have a smaller team, but it gives you the same feel that Blood Bowl has. So you get the same feel as Blood Bowl, just you're trimming all the fat and all of the excess that's there, and it provides you with a very streamlined, more palatable, especially with time as a consideration, experience of Blood Bowl. But that's Blitz Bowl from Games Workshop. My number 6 is Star Wars Rebellion. This is from Fantasy Flight Games, and if you want the original trilogy, episodes 4, 5, and 6 in a box, this is your huckleberry, because the rebels are at their secret rebel base and are trying to keep that hidden as long as possible, and they're trying to thwart the plans of the Empire. The Empire, on the other hand, is trying to find the rebel base and crush the rebellion from existence. This is the original trilogy in a box, and if you like that, this is something you should definitely think about picking up for that Star Wars fan in your family or your group of friends. So that's my number 6, Star Wars Rebellion. Number 5 is Rum and Bones Second Tide. This is from Kaman Limited, and it is a pirate MOBA style game where you're going to be controlling different pirate heroes, so to speak, or characters that have special abilities that you can power up and make better over the course of time. But there's also pirate crews that are going to be following their path along these 2 different, or sometimes 3 or 4 or 5 different pirate ships that are all linked together. Think Pirates of the Caribbean on a board. That's pretty much what you have going on here. You don't have the characters from the movie, of course, but that's the feel that this game gives you. And it is a tremendously fun game. So check that out. That's Rum and Bones Second Tide. Number 4 is Zombiecide Black Plague. Now, I've talked about Zombiecide Black Plague ad nauseum sometimes because I really enjoy this game so much, and it is such an improvement over the original base game of Zombiecide. Now, they have released a new version of Zombiecide that includes a lot of the rule changes and fixes that they employed in Black Plague, so you can check that out as well. Zombiecide now, I can say, no matter what you choose, it's a great fun experience. They've really put a lot of attention to streamlining the game over the years, and Black Plague is where they really started to hit the ground running as far as doing that is concerned. But the reason I like this one the most is because it has a medieval theme wrapped around it. So you have knights and nuns and barbarians and wizards instead of, just teenagers and stuff like that running around killing zombies. So that is Zombiecide Black Plague from Kaman Games. Number 3 is Warhammer Underworld's Dread Fane. Now, there are 3 other ways that you can purchase Warhammer Underworld. There's 3 different core sets. This one is a 4th core set that is mainly found at Barnes & Noble. But if you pick up any of them, it's great. This one, however, is a little bit more of a streamlined first step into the system because it doesn't give you the ability to personalize or change your decks at all. You simply have a deck, one faction has their deck, the other faction has their deck, and you go at it. So it's a little bit of a first step into it. If you're already kind of savvy on miniatures games, you can probably skip this. However, I think the factions that come in this are also really good too. So Warhammer Underworld Dread Fane, it's simply an arena combat game, card driven, and you're trying to score the most points over 3 rounds. It's really fun, really streamlined, really fast, great game for miniature players. Warhammer Underworld's Dread Fane. Number 2 is a classic in my opinion, and that is Memoir 44. Memoir 44 is from a company called Days of Wonder, and they have made this tactical war game that is palatable for a wide swath of people. Most of the time, tactical war games are very heavy on rules, very heavy on minutia, details this, details that. This one is not like that. It is more of a simulation, and I guess you could say a little bit abstracted simulation, but not really, because the miniatures in this one is really, really nice. They're really nice. I like them a lot. And there's a lot of different ways that you can go as far as what you're going to purchase for it. Some of it's not available, but you don't need that extra stuff. The core box gives you plenty of game to play, and that's why I really like this game a lot. If you have a World War II aficionado that you're trying to find a gift for, this would be the perfect board game if they're looking for a board game, that is. But this would be perfect for that kind of person. Memoir 44. And finally, my number 1 is my favorite game of all time, and this is a game that I have played so much. I do not win it very often, but I don't care because I have such a great time playing it. It is Blood Rage. Now, Blood Rage is a game that is a very much a Viking-themed, Nordic mythology-themed game where you have dudes on the board, but that's kind of a distraction because the way you win this game is the card drafting mechanism and making sure that you're drafting cards that you're going to be able to employ to score the most points, while at the same time possibly trying to keep cards from other people because you kind of have an idea of what they're trying to do on the board from round to round. It is a great thematic experience. It is definitely a hybrid experience because it definitely has a lot of Euro-style mechanisms in it, but it also has that very Amerithrashy theme to it of conflict and dying gloriously in battle. So that's my number 1, Blood Rage. For my 12 games, miniature games of Christmas, go check them out. Again, like we said, you can find all of these online. You can definitely check out Cool Stuff Incorporated, though. They have some great prices for a lot of these titles. And as always, if you want that $50 gift certificate to Cool Stuff, go ahead and go to Gstone. You can find it on the App Store or Google Play, and join, create an account, and your name will be entered to possibly get that $50 gift card. Well, that's it for me, the 12 miniature games of Christmas. Thanks for joining me. I certainly appreciate it. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side. Merry Christmas.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.